Morning, morning, monsters. This morning we are talking about a sweet and wholesome anime because it's Friday and I am feeling a little bit lazy. But it's good, I promise you, it is fantastic. And we are going to try avoid a spoiler discussion on this because I don't know how many people have seen it. Though I strongly encourage you to. And when the season finishes, we'll most certainly revisit it for a spoilery discussion. So let us start off with this. So Ascendance of the Bookworm is really simple and sweet. It's Isekai, but it's Isekai done really, really well. You know how normally in this genre, this Sword Art Online, this whole rebirth into another world genre, it's kind of a power trip and it's kind of a power fantasy, and actually my favorite reinterpretation of the genre remains Dr. Stone. I mean, I fucking love the genre, I'll watch anything that's Isekai, but Dr. Stone is still one of my favorites, though this is probably the most wholesome and I have somewhat fallen in love with it. This little girl on screen here is called Main, and the premise of the anime is really, really simple. It is basically this book lover is crushed by her books. You know, the epitome of the death sequence, because, you know, you've got the two versions. You've got the VR version and you've got the death version, or in Dr. Stone you've got the whole death and rebirth version. But basically, you know, you need to leave your world and to enter another. And so, yeah, she leaves the world by basically being crushed by a pile of books. And she gets reborn into this magical world. But when she gets reborn into this magical world, she gets born into the body of a frail child. Now, that could go into creepy and weird places, and it could be, oh no, Japan. But it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. It actually holds really solid and sweet and wholesome. And even her interaction with other characters is just fantastic. It doesn't have the level of science in that Dr. Stone has, but the premise of the book is, as I say, after she has died and been reborn in this world, she still loves books, she still loves writing, but she's born into a fantasy medieval world that has magic, but it also has feudalism, and basically most of the populace is illiterate, or functionally illiterate. A lot of them can read numbers for market stalls and stuff, and very much in the sort of tradition of sort of 14th century England, or Europe I should say. Most of the stores are advertising with wooden shackles outside of their place, where they're like, this is a tailor shop or whatever. There's an apprenticeship system, all the kind of sort of feudal tropes. Well, I say tropes, the feudal historical stuff you will see. And yeah, she basically does the normal isekai thing of, oh, I have knowledge about the modern world and I can do things. And the first quest, she's sort of, and again, we're going to be doing spoiler free for this because I think most people probably haven't seen it. And it's currently still airing on Wednesdays, so I strongly encourage you to catch up with it. Is she desperately hunts, so that's her family there that she's reborn into. She desperately hunts for a way to make books and paper again so she can get writing, but she can't read and write the local language. Like, she has to actually learn that. She can still read and write Japanese, but it's a different language. She can speak the language because the body she's born into has it. But yeah, no, Ascendance of the Bookworm is the anime, and it is so, so sweet. It's just this wonderful journey. It's this wonderful journey. And as I say, it doesn't have the level of sort of scientific recreation that Dr. Stone does, but it does have an element of that, like so many isekais do, where it's like, oh, my knowledge about paper is the ancient Egyptians did this, and Mesopotamia they did this. And it's a little bit of a trip down that whole avenue. The world does have magic, but yeah, I don't want to play too much of it in the background here. I think I might just loop back to the intro bit, but it is just it's absolutely fantastic, and it's so wholesome. And I've been really busy this week, as you all know, and I just sort of stumbled onto this one totally randomly, and I binged the, I think, 10 episodes that are currently up instantly, like on the train to and fro of work. And we've had train strikes this week, so I've had a little bit more time to binge anime on the train. And yeah, I caught up, and now I'm caught up, and now Wednesday is the day where new episodes of this drop, and I have a Wednesday anime again because all my animes are currently dropping on a Friday, and it's so frustrating. Friday or Saturday. But it's kind of that time window where it's like, okay, Saturday first thing, I want to catch up with my animes. But yeah, no, I was so pleasantly surprised by this. It started off, as so many of these do, as a light novel. There is a manga. I won't be surprised if I start reading the manga because I'm just so into it. I've had a hard time with Japanese light novels. The translations often are a bit rough. So yeah, I've tried to pick up a few light novels that I've enjoyed the animes of, and I've not got on with any of them so far. So yeah, Ascendance of the Bookworm. It is a little gem that we have discovered, and I would really love to see sort of more isekai in this genre, more sort of less power trip fantasy. It's more realistic. She has really strong limits because, as I say, she can't read and write, so she has to, as a peasant girl, because she's also not nobility, she's not instantly hailed as, uber magician or as uber knowledgeable, whatever. I mean, she does have an advantage of having a little bit of knowledge, but unlike Dr. Stone, which I still fucking love, she's not like, oh my god, genius, I counted the seconds since I was frozen in stone. She makes very sort of believable, simple mistakes that a lot of us, if I think we were reborn into this kind of scenario, would make. Like, she has the knowledge, but she doesn't have all the knowledge. So, for example, one bit she tries to make, and again, we're keeping this spoiler free, but this is very light. One bit she tries to make clay tablets, and she just stumbles a lot of the practicalities of clay tablets. And I actually did a whole Wikipedia dive trying to figure out why she stumbled. So yeah, that is very, very short. It is the brains. Yeah, so Ascendance of the Bookworm, it's on Crunchyroll. I would give it a strong recommend. And I hope you enjoy it. And we're just going to conclude the recorded section there. Keep it nice and short because I don't think we should extend it if there's nothing else to say. So I will see you soon.